The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Miles walked through the towering doors, his boots echoing against the crystalline floor. In his hands, he carried a sealed container diplomatic protocol for what lay inside. Behind him, Hayden followed, her face carved from stone, her eyes burning with something the gathered aliens had never seen in a human before. They called Earth a death world. Its inhabitants were classified as Class 9 predators, their planet a nightmare of crushing gravity, violent weather, and evolutionary pressure that forged them into something the galaxy had learned to fear. But humans had been peaceful, diplomatic. They'd followed the rules, signed the treaties, and integrated into galactic society with surprising grace. That was before Officer Z. Achikara of the Zelthan governance struck a human child. The incident had occurred on Kepler Station, a neutral trading hub where dozens of species mingled. 8-year-old Tommy Chen had been running through the marketplace laughing, playing. Being a child, he'd accidentally bumped into Officer Z. Achikara, causing her to drop a datapad. It was an accident, witnessed by hundreds. Security footage showed everything. Achikara had turned, raised her enforcement baton, and struck the boy across the skull. Tommy died 3 hours later, his small human body unable to survive the trauma. His parents' screams had echoed through the station's medical bay, a sound that traveled across quantum communications to every human settlement in the galaxy. Miles placed the container on the central platform, his movements deliberate. The council representatives shifted in their various ways, tentacles curling, wings folding, optical sensors dimming. They knew what was coming. They'd received the human delegation's message. Justice will be served. Honorable Council, Miles began, his voice carrying the weight of 1,000 deaths. 6 cycles ago, you received our complaint. We followed protocol. We filed the proper forms. We requested extradition of Officer Z. Achikara to stand trial for the murder of a child. And we explained, chittered Council Prime Vel, his insectoid mandibles clicking nervously, that Officer Z. Achikara acted within Zelthan law. The child created a hazard. She responded appropriately according to her training. Hayden stepped forward then, and every being in the chamber tensed. She was smaller than Miles, barely 5.5 feet tall, but there was something in the way she moved that made ancient prey instincts scream warnings across a dozen different neurological structures. Zelthan law, Hayden said softly, does not supersede human law when a human child is murdered. The Zelthan governance is a sovereign, Veltha began. Miles interrupted, was a sovereign entity. The container opened with a hiss of pressurized gas. Inside, preserved in stasis gel, was the severed head of Z. Achikara, her compound eyes frozen in an expression of terminal surprise. The chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives fled their seats, alarms began blaring, and security forces rushed toward the platform. Miles didn't move, neither did Hayden. They stood like mountains, immovable, unshakable. Silence. Miles roared, and the chamber froze. His voice carried frequencies that made prey species instinctively drop to the ground. You will listen, Hayden continued, her voice calm and cold. 48 hours after you denied our extradition request, human operatives entered Zelthan space. We located Officer Achikara in her home compound protected by military shielding, surrounded by armed guards, hidden behind every defense her government could provide. Miles smiled, and it was not a pleasant expression. It took our team 4 minutes to breach the compound, 2 minutes to eliminate the guards, 30 seconds to extract Z. Achikara. This is an act of war. Someone shrieked from the assembly. No, Hayden said simply. This is justice. The Zelthan government had a choice: hand over a murderer or protect her. They chose protection, so we chose extraction. The Zelthan fleet, Velthar started, no longer exists, Miles stated flatly. When they mobilized to retaliate, we responded. The Zelthan homeworld is intact. Their colonies are intact. Their civilians are unharmed. But their military infrastructure has been reduced to debris. Every ship, every weapon platform, every orbital defense has been dismantled. The implications crashed through the chamber like a physical wave. The Zelthan governance had possessed one of the largest fleets in the quadrant. If the humans had destroyed it, you don't understand what you've done, Velthar whispered. The balance of power, the treaties. That you don't understand what you've done, Hayden interrupted, stepping closer to the council platform. We are death. We are predators. We are the species that conquered a planet that spent 4 billion years trying to kill us. But we are also parents. We are protectors. And we are capable of love so fierce that we will burn down civilizations to avenge a single child. Miles placed both hands on the container. This is not a threat. This is not a warning. This is a statement of fact. Human children are touch one, and we will find you. Hide behind fleets, governments, or laws, it doesn't matter. We will come. We will extract our justice. And we will make sure every species in this galaxy knows what happens when you harm our young. The silence that followed was absolute. Finally, Velthar spoke, his voice barely audible. What do you want from this council? Hayden's expression softened, just slightly. Recognition. Let it be recorded in every database, every treaty, every law code in the galaxy. Human children are protected under human species protection protocols. Any being who harms a human child forfeits all rights to diplomatic protection. They become subject to human justice, regardless of location or affiliation. And if we refuse, another council member asked. Miles looked directly at the speaker. Then we leave this council, we close our borders. We stop sharing our technology, our medicine, our culture. And when other species discover that this body failed to protect children, any children, you'll find yourselves very alone. The vote took less than a minute. It was unanimous. As Miles and Hayden left the chamber, container now empty and its contents left as a permanent reminder on the council floor, Velthar watched them go. He thought about his own offspring, about the nesting pods waiting at home, about the fierce love he felt for them. For the first time, he understood humans. They weren't monsters. They were parents. And there was nothing in the universe more dangerous than that. The Deathworlders had spoken. The galaxy had learned. Children were precious, and humans would protect them all.